As the decline of the empire continued, after the death of Genghis Khan, his sons expanded the lands of the Great Mongol Empire to Central Europe and China, and the empire nearly doubled in size in terms of territory. So why did the Mongol Empire, which once ruled nearly a quarter of the world, have such a short lifespan? Another question is, why was the country divided into separate khanates? After these great victories, even while Genghis Khan was still alive, he divided the lands he had conquered among his sons according to Mongol tradition. Although Genghis Khan, with his excellent command skills and experienced statesmanship, was granted the right to conquer every land where Mongol horses could step, Joki, who was assigned to this mission but did not live long enough, died while his father was still alive, and his place was taken by Batu Khan. Genghis Khan's youngest son Tolui governed the empire until the Kurultai of 1229, while his second son Chagatai Khan became the ruler of the lands between the Uyghur territory and Samarkand and Bukhara. After his father's death, Chagatai did not participate in wars and supported his brother Gadai's rise to Khan, governing his own lands while remaining loyal to him. Chagatai, who lived a life without war, died in 1241, and his Khanate lands remained part of Mongolia until the establishment of Kublai Khan. After Kublai Khan chose his own path in 1280, the Chagatai Khanate continued its existence as an independent Khanate. The Chagatai Khanate, which was the only Khanate that ruled almost without war among the Mongol Khanates, was destroyed by the Timurid state at the end of the 14th century, although its people continued living in these lands until the 18th century. As for Gedei, the third son of Genghis Khan, he was chosen as his successor while his father was still alive, and after Genghis Khan's death he took action to complete his unfinished work. His greatest supporter in this regard was his uncle Chagatai, and after being elected Khan in 1229, he immediately began planning for the Khwarezmian territories. When he learned that Jalal ad-Din Khwarezmshah had retaken some of his lost lands, he sent his best commander, Karman Noyan, against the Khwarezmians. In this battle, Jalal ad-Din Khwarezmshah suffered a heavy defeat and was forced to hand over all of Iran to the Mongols. At the same time, the lands of Azerbaijan also came under Mongol control. Then Gedei began preparing for new campaigns, sending Subutai Noyan against the Kipchaks and other Mongol armies to Kashmir and Afghanistan. Later, Gedei joined his brother Chagatai and launched a campaign into China, personally leading the army and achieving a great victory. He captured northern cities and completely cut the Jin army's connection with the south. Afterward, he returned to the capital Karakoram. The Noyans who continued the war managed to annex all of northern China to Mongol territory by 1234. Meanwhile, when Gedei learned that the Goryeo king refused to pay taxes and had attacked Mongol caravans, he sent an army against the Goryeo kingdom. In 1231, the invasion of the Goryeo kingdom began, and its resistance triggered a long-lasting war. Because the Mongol army numbered nearly 1 million soldiers, continuous raids and supply operations were necessary to sustain it. Therefore, in 1236, Gedei sent armies for southern campaigns. He sent Meng, the son of Tolui, Baidar, the son of Chagatai, and Batu, the son of Joki, on a western campaign, and this new expansion policy caused great turmoil in the previously quiet west. In 1241, Batu occupied the mountain passes and the Vladimir Przemysl regions, and as the Mongol armies advancing eastward burned and devastated many areas up to the Vistula River, the armies formed by European states suffered a major defeat. While Batu advanced as far as the outskirts of Budapest without facing serious resistance and was planning campaigns into Italy and Germany, he received news of the death of Gedei Khan. Therefore, the campaign plans were postponed, and all the nobles except Batu Khan decided to return to Karakoram. Thus, all of Europe was saved from the Mongol invasion. During his approximately 12-year dominance over the region, he strongly desired the conquest of Korea. However, the invasion of Korea unfortunately took place shortly after Gedei's death. Returning to Europe, Batu Khan resumed his campaigns at the end of 1241 and marched against the Russian principalities. As a result of this campaign, Kiev, Smolensk, Chernigov, and other Russian principalities were quickly conquered, and Mongol territory expanded to the northern borders. Then turning south, Batu Khan and his army captured half of Hungary and proceeded to plunder and burn countries such as Poland, Austria, and Dalmatia one by one. Although he defeated the German forces near Legnica in 1242, he did not advance further. The main reason for this was the heavy losses suffered by the army during long campaigns. Additionally, disputes between Batu Khan and the sons of Gede made him unwilling to continue the campaign, so he decided to return to the homeland via Wallachia and Moldavia. With this campaign, Batu Khan also established the borders of what would later become the Golden Horde. After Gede's death, his widow Tregine Khatun was appointed as regent of the Mongol Empire. During the years 1240 to 1246, Tregine governed the empire, and during her reign a campaign closely related to Turkish history was launched. The commander of the Western armies, Beju Noyan, took advantage of the difficult situation of the Anatolian Seljuk state and marched against it. He advanced further after incorporating 30,000 soldiers he had taken from the recently destroyed Kingdom of Georgia into his army. After capturing the Empire of Trebizond, he reached Erzurum in the autumn of 1242, besieged the city, and quickly took it. After plundering the city, he returned to Mongolia to plan a major offensive. Meanwhile, upon learning of the Mongol threat, Kaykhusrau II marched with an army of 70,000 Seljuk soldiers against the Mongols. At the same time, as the Mongol army reached Sivas, the two forces met in 1243 at the Battle of Kayesi-Dağ. In the Battle of Kayesi-Dağ, the Seljuk forces under Kaykhusrau II were defeated by the Mongols, and as a result, the Anatolian Seljuk state became a vassal of the Mongol Empire. Following this victory, Beju Noyan annexed the territories of Diyarbakir and Alat in 1245 and then returned to Iran. At the 1246 Kurultai, Gede's son was elected as Great Khan, but Batu Khan, who had clashed with the Great Khan during the European campaign, opposed this decision. After the Great Khan was elected, he began dealing with Batu Khan, who opposed him, and dismissed Batu Khan's commanders in Azerbaijan one by one. As the disagreement between them grew over time, it eventually turned into war in 1248. Although the Great Khan set out on a campaign against Batu Khan with his army, he died during this expedition for an unknown reason. After this, the Kurultai was reconvened, and this time, following Batu Khan's decision, Menk Khan was declared Great Khan. Thanks to Menk Khan's successful rule, the Mongols achieved significant victories against the final resistance in China and advanced deep into southern China through consecutive campaigns. However, the advance of Menk Khan and his army suddenly came to a halt in 1259 due to an epidemic outbreak in China. The Mongol army suffered heavy losses due to this epidemic, and Menk Khan himself was also affected and died in 1259. Around the same time, Batu Khan, the leader of the Golden Horde, also died, and his brother Berk Khan succeeded him. However, neither Berk Khan nor his successors were able to restore the Golden Horde to its former strength, and the state would eventually be destroyed by Russian principalities in 1502. As the Mongol Khanates began acting independently, conflicts among them started to emerge. The establishment of the Ilkhanate by Hlag, the grandson of Genghis Khan, in 1256 as the Western representative of the Mongol Empire further intensified these internal conflicts. In 1258, the Ilkhanates captured Baghdad, ending the Abbasid Caliphate, and then advanced into Palestine. However, in 1260, the Ilkhanate army was defeated by the Mamluks and forced to withdraw from Syria and Palestine. This defeat marked the first major Mongol loss in the West and demonstrated to the world that the Mongols could also be defeated. After a period of peace, the Ilkhanate army launched a campaign against the Anatolian Seljuk state in 1277 due to unpaid taxes. However, after the Seljuks requested help from the Mamluks, Sultan Baybars confronted the Mongols at Elbistan. In the Battle of Elbistan, the Mongol army was once again defeated, and nearly the entire force was destroyed. Aside from these two defeats, the Ilkhanate remained undefeated for a long time, but it eventually collapsed in 1335 due to internal conflicts rather than military defeat. Returning to the east after Menk Khan's death, his brother Kublai Khan took the throne and began plans to complete his brother's unfinished goal of conquering all of China. After a series of campaigns, by 1280 Kublai Khan had finally conquered all of China after more than a century of attempts. The empire reached its largest territorial extent during this period. Due to internal conflicts within the empire, Kublai Khan established the Yuan dynasty in the east and crowned himself its first emperor. During his reign, the Mongols launched their first naval expedition against Japan, but after failing against the Japanese forces, they never attempted another invasion. He died in 1294 and was succeeded by Tem-Ar-Late. After Kublai's death, Mongol nobles and Chinese populations came into increasing conflict, which became the main factor destabilizing Mongol rule. Although he left behind a stable and prosperous empire, It did not last even a century after his death. Within 40 years, 7 emperors ruled, and the state gradually weakened after Kublai's death. In 1368, during the reign of the last emperor Toghon Tamar, the weakened state was gradually eliminated by the Ming dynasty. This date is also considered the final collapse of the Mongol Empire, and thus the once world-shaking empire took its place in the dusty pages of history.